Hello everybody, I'm Sam Craig, and today I'm going to be talking to you about plastics and if we should use them anymore or not, specifically plastic packaging, and even more specific, single-use plastics. And I'm going to be talking about two perspectives, one coming from environmentalists and then the other coming from consumers and producers. And the 2 points I'm going to touch on from the environmentalists is the fact that plastics are very harmful to the environment, and that they can also be very harmful to wildlife. And the two claims from consumers is that they're both cheap and durable. So first up, consumers. Plastic is a very cheap material to produce, and since it is so cheap, it makes products cheaper for the consumers to buy. So it makes things cheaper. It's also a very light material, which means it's cheaper to transport. And a paper bag costs 4 to 5 times more than a plastic bag to produce. Plastic is also very durable, and it keeps food fresh and protected for much longer than many other materials. And a quote from Cindy Shulman, the VP of Packaging and Resins for ExxonMobil Chemical, is that plastic packaging today is so much more than a shopping bag or wrapping. It's really about preservation and protecting the food and getting it to the people. And that really sums up what plastic does and why it's so important, because without that, foods wouldn't be able to last on shelves for as long as they do. Not only that, plastic is also very versatile for shipping, and through shipping it can be really rough and things tend to break, and plastic won't do that, such as materials like glass and wood. So it's very important. On to the environmentalists. Their first claim is that it can really destroy ecosystems. And according to Plastic Oceans Organization, there are over 8 billion tons of plastic dumped in our oceans every single year. And also, whenever that plastic goes into the water, since it is treated with chemicals in factories, the chemicals go into the water and are very harmful for the things that drink the water and for even us. Even after the water gets purified, the chemicals still stay in the water and can still be very bad for us. And secondly, plastic is very harmful to the wildlife. It is found that 1 in 3 seabirds have plastic particles found in their stomachs, and seabirds often tend to die from this because their stomachs can't break down the plastics, so they tend to die. And over 90% of marine animals are found entangled in plastic, and this is found from the Plastic Oceans Organization. That was a study that they did in 2018, and they went out and they found that 90% of the animals that they found had some sort of plastic on them, and that 60% of these animals had it on them to where it affected the way that they swam, and it really affected the animals. So in conclusion, today I've talked to you about 2 claims about plastics, one being environmentalist and the second being consumers. The first claim from the environmentalists that I talked to you is about how it can destroy the ecosystems, and the second claim is about how it can harm wildlife. The first claim from consumers that I talked to you about is how it's a very cheap material to produce and to ship, and the second I talked to you about is how it's very durable to ship. What it all boils down to is the cost, because plastic is so cheap, and the prices, if we use something else, the prices will rise. So it boils down to that, and also a proper way to dispose of plastics, because even recycling today, many people choose not to do it. So tons and tons of plastic ends up in landfills every year, which then usually moves into the oceans, which is even worse. And